got to get away from it all. It's never too late to plan a vacay. We're talking to Travel Girl Magazine's Stephanie Oswald about last-minute summer deals.
And get your motor running and get out on the highway to Ignacio, Colorado for Ignacio Bike Week. It's one of the nation's premier biking events, and we have the details coming up.
And it's Friday. We'll meet our pet of the week. Bam! Good morning, everybody. I'm Nikki Stanzione.
And I'm Elias Gallegos, your face of Fox, filling in for Kristen Van Dyke.
And this is New Mexico style, and
yes,
it's
it
Friday.
Whoop, whoop. I have to do that.
That was a good whoop whoop. I usually do the whoop whoops alone. Thank you for joining me in that. You know, you just did a thumbs up. Was that in honor of the leather jacket for Franz?
Well, the leather jacket is in honor of the Ignacio Bike Week coming up.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Really bummed out that I won't be able to make it, but I will definitely be there in spirit.
Good, good, good. And I appreciate you dressing for the occasion. That's very stylish of you.
I wish I could have driven for the occasion.
Do you ride motorcycles ever?
I did. I have not been on a bike in, well, no one really cares how long, but it's been a while.
It's been a while. I'm afraid of motorcycles, to be honest with you. I've always
don't
been
be afraid.
I know. I think it's because when I was a little kid, my mom fell off. She was on a bike with someone, and she got hurt, so it scared me. But I'll get over the fear. I'll get over the fear because there's so many people that are so excited about, you know, riding bikes out here, and it's such a big thing. So
you have to respect bikes because they bite back.
Oh, God.
They do. I'm serious.
Friday. Forgive him. Okay, now, by the way, Bernalillo County firefighters are kicking off their annual boot drive today to raise money for the Muscular Dystrophy Association.
Out for these local heroes who will be in front of stores around the county collecting donations until next Wednesday. Last year, the firefighters raised more than $25,000.
Oh, wow. How nice. I love to hear that. So hopefully they'll raise even more this week. Now, I know you're a big fan of Rihanna. Did you get to see her interview, by the way, with Oprah this week on the next chapter?
You're not going to make me cry, Nikki.
Oh, that's what she said. You did watch it, didn't you? She's like, oh, leave it to Oprah to make me cry. Because she was in Barbados, and I'm telling you, no, seriously, you know, you look at people like pop stars like Rihanna, seriously, don't make fun, I'm being serious.
I'm sorry.
She showed such a soft side, and she had some really good life lesson messages.
No,
For a 24-year-old, she is very mature, very sweet, very down to earth. And when you
talented.
see her, oh, very obviously talented, but when you see her in her home environment, you'll have a new appreciation for her.
Yeah, man.
Nah, not Tyra. I love her. Love, love, love her. Anyway, it's just something to mention. You might want to check it out on YouTube. Just thought I'd throw it out there. And you definitely want to check out KRQE tonight because I think the Giants are playing the Bears in an exhibition game pre-season. I think it's tonight at 6.
Yeah, what Giants, they won a big game last year or something like that?
It was called the Super Bowl.
Oh, that's it? That's all?
I gloated and I kind of bragged all year, and maybe it'll happen again. Meanwhile, okay, let's see if I'm curious if Elizabeth is a fan. Let's check in with KRQE News 13, Elizabeth Alvarez with this morning's headlines. Are you a football fan, Elizabeth?
No, not really.
Okay,
I don't really follow football as much as I do basketball.
She likes basketball.
She's a hooper. She's a hooper.
Yeah, I know. All right, hope you guys are having a good Friday morning so far. We want to start off, though, talking about breaking news happening out of New York City right now. Multiple people have been shot outside the Empire State Building. What we know right now is that city police are reporting that 3, possibly 4 people have been shot. You're taking a live look right now. This is a live picture from New York outside the Empire State Building. What we also know is that 911 calls started coming in about an hour ago. Now, the circumstances of the shooting are not yet known. We do know that the gunman is dead. No word yet on the condition of those shot. Again, officials right now saying that the shooting actually occurred at 34th Street and 5th Avenue, if you happen to be familiar with the area, right by the Empire State Building. Of course, this is developing news happening right here, and we will keep you posted as soon as more information becomes available. Back here at home, the man charged with the murders of a woman and her nephew is expected to be in court today. Brian Pullman was arrested yesterday. Cops are charging him with the double murder of Kirsten Landau and Dylan Searfoss. The victims were found shot to death in a northeast Albuquerque home Tuesday evening. We're told the suspect is Kirsten's ex-boyfriend. Family members told police that the couple had a history of domestic violence. We've also learned that Pulliam also has a criminal record. Police say he's been arrested for auto theft, armed robbery, to even attempted murder. An APS mother is upset this morning, saying that the school district backed down in punishing a bully who was sending disturbing text messages to her son. Back in May, we told you about the hate messages the student sent Jill Frankel's son. Both teens go to El Dorado High School. The district had suspended the bullying teen until January, but now the district says a long-term suspension is not appropriate, so the bullying teen is now back at school.
It would have been really respectful and awesome of them had they given us some warning that this child was back at school, and they just told me that they weren't able to do that because he wasn't my child.
The school district officials also tell us that the two teens will not have any classes together, and the bullying student could still face criminal charges for harassment. Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney is back on the road on his campaign trail this morning after making a stop in New Mexico's oil patch yesterday to talk about his energy policy. President Obama did the same thing about 5 months ago, but as News 13's Jessica Garata tells us, that's where the similarities end.
About 300 people flocked to Watson Truck and Supply in Hobbs after Republican Senate candidate Heather Wilson and Congressman Steve Pierce introduced Mitt Romney to the crowd. The presidential hopeful told them what they wanted to hear.
3 million jobs come back to this country by taking advantage of something we have right underneath our feet. That's oil and gas and coal. We're going to make it happen. We're going to create those jobs.
In March, President Obama used an oil field near Hobbs as a backdrop to tout record levels of oil and natural gas production under his watch and tout his focus on renewable energy. The former Massachusetts governor says it's not enough. He wants to boost oil production on federal lands, which he says is stifled by rules and regulations, by letting states oversee the drilling. He also wants to build a pipeline from Canada to the U.S. to pump in more crude oil.
Getting a North American energy independence is key to American leadership.
Critics say his plan is a recipe for an environmental disaster and won't solve the country's long-term needs.
And unfortunately, this energy policy sounds like a one-note song, drill, drill, drill. And if anything, history has shown is that you can't drill yourself to lower prices.
Jessica Goddard, KRQE News 13.
After the rally, Romney went to a fundraiser at the convention center where people paid up to $50,000 to meet him. Later today, Albuquerque Mayor R.J. Berry is set to honor the officers and people who helped investigators with the murder at a 7-Eleven last month. They're this week's Friday's Heroes, and they will be honored at City Hall around 2 o'clock this afternoon. Back in July, police say Eloy Aguilar, Dylan Villarreal, and Julian de Herrera were at a 7-Eleven across from UNM early one morning when Aguilar shot and killed, they say, a clerk there. The clerk, the victim here, Chad Mercer. All 3 men are now charged with murder. And that wraps it up for your Friday morning. Be sure to tune us in on KRQE News 13 beginning at 4:30 every weekday morning to join Matt, Kristen, and myself for all your news, weather, and traffic of the morning. All right, guys, I'm going to send it back to you on this busy Friday morning.
Yeah, thanks,
you,
Elizabeth. Pretty in pink. I'm
Thank
so
you.
worried about what's going on in New York.
Yeah,
I have to call my
so
family.
sad.
I don't like to hear that. I hope the news continues to just get better. I hope there's not any additional victims that we don't know about. Unnecessary.
Unnecessary violence.
Well, more shocking news even from the sports world. The U.S. Anti-Doping Agency announced last night that it will strip Lance Armstrong, I can't believe this, of his 7 Tour de France championships and ban him for life from cycling.
Fox's news correspondent Marianne Rafferty explains.
The U.S. Anti-Doping Agency has announced it will strip Lance Armstrong of his 7 Tour de France titles. The move comes after Armstrong declared he was finished fighting doping allegations. In a written statement, Armstrong says, "There comes a point in every man's life when he has to say enough is enough. For me, that time is now." World Anti-Doping Agency President John Fahey says Armstrong's decision to drop his fight against the doping charges is an admission of guilt. Armstrong counters that claim and says his decision is more of a refusal to enter an arbitration process he believes is unfair. The USADA maintains Armstrong has used banned substances as far back as 1996. The 40-year-old cyclist walked away from the sport in 2011 without being charged following a 2-year federal criminal investigation into many of the same accusations he faces from the USADA. In an exclusive interview with the Associated Press in February 2011, Armstrong said he tries not to let the doping accusations get to him.
I try not to let it bother me. and just keep rolling right along. I know that I know what I know, and I know what I do, and I know what I did, and that's not going to change.
The USADA also says Armstrong will be hit with a lifetime ban starting today. And under the World Anti-Doping Code, Armstrong may lose the bronze medal from the 2000 Olympics, as well as any awards, event titles, and cash earnings. In New York, Marianne Rafferty, Fox News.
Sad.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Does it bother you?
Yeah, that's just not...
I mean,
I don't even know what to say.
Well, you know me, especially of all people, you know how anti-drug I am. But I think because of what he went through with his cancer, I think that's probably what started any drug anything that he was doing. I would think was more for treatment purposes, and then potentially maybe it got into a system.
Well,
I don't
for
know.
me,
Who
it's
really
like
knows?
they can take his titles away, but they'll never take what he did away. You can't take stuff like that away.
Yeah, you can take the title, but not the glory. And I'm really curious what's going to happen if they do take it away. Though, are they going to then see who was in second place in all of those
if you're the second place guy, I don't necessarily want that. It's like
exactly. Yeah, thanks.
But I don't know.
Exactly. I agree 100%. Okay, let's turn it over to something happier.
Okay.
How about that? Okay. For 58 years, Sadie's has been Albuquerque's #1 source for authentic New Mexican cuisine. And this New Mexico tradition is now officially open at the Santa Ana Star Casino.
The grand opening celebration is today and tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. For all the details, visit sadiesatthestar.com.
Now, they were here the other day. William was here. He made delicious green chili stew. Oh, my God.
Yeah, that was really good. And he's a really neat guy.
Isn't he fun?
Very cool.
He's very cool. And they're going to have music. It's going to be a really fun event. So, yeah, definitely check it out and get some good food in the process. Now, here's another thing that's really fun. This guy knows for sure. Are you fit to be dyed? The Color Run is the happiest 5K run on the planet, and it's taking place tomorrow at Albuquerque Civic Plaza.
Yes, the Color Run is 5 kilometers of madness.
Madness.
Then it's less about speed and more about fun.
Yes, the 2012 Color Run is basically rolling into 50 U.S. cities and Australia, and we actually had our very own Color Run here on Wednesday, and Elias got colored officially. So what's the paint actually made of, Elias?
It's made out of cornstarch. It's a powder-based cornstarch that is colored with all natural colors. There's nothing toxic about it. It doesn't taste very good, but you won't get sick. It won't hurt you if you happen to ingest some of it.
Sure.
And surprisingly enough, it's pretty high in calories.
Oh my gosh.
If you're kind of feeling a little wheezy there in your madness Color Run,
soak it
just
in.
take it.
I'm going to ask you the question I know a lot of other people were curious about, which is how long did it take you to clean it off?
Well, you know what? It's actually pretty easy to clean off if you're not sweaty.
Okay.
And I never really broke a sweat.
Okay.
But it took me about 15 minutes. You just kind of wipe it off with a towel and then shower.
And the Color Run begins at Civic Plaza, as you just saw on the screen. It starts tomorrow at 8 a.m. and you must wear white.
Yes.
Start with a blank canvas. I heard it might be sold out, so you might want to get in or to ask people if there's any plans to cancel or they can't use their ticket. Make sure that you jump in there. Now, real life couple Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard turn up the heat in their latest film, Hit and Run, opening today.
Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has that and more as she takes a look at what's new in theaters.
You're a bank robber? Buckle up as on and off screen couple Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell aim to race to the top of the box office with their comedy Hit and Run, about a former getaway driver whose past comes back to chase him.
I got a package for you.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt gets chased all over New York City, starring as a bike messenger who catches the attention of a crooked cop after he's given a mysterious package to deliver in Premium Rush.
Anything supernatural can exist when people believe it.
For a ride of psychological twists and turns, The Apparition follows a couple tormented by the remnants of a supernatural experiment gone awry.
We gotta get this thing out of here!
You got any ideas?
Sylvester Stallone and his team of action heroes may not let any newbies pass them by. The Expendables 2 is currently hanging on to the #1 spot. Jeremy Renner is keeping up the pace right behind them as Aaron Cross, the latest agent on the run, continuing the Bourne legacy. There's also the family-friendly option Paranorman. The stop-motion animation film continues to haunt all that grown-up competition at the theater.
There's nothing wrong with being scared.
In New York, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
As you don't let
Good lesson. There's nothing wrong with being scared. I am a huge scaredy cat, which is ironic because today I'm shooting the movie Ghost Aliens, and it's going to be really cool because, you know, you see all these movies, and you and I both know, but a lot of people don't realize how much goes on behind the scenes.
Logistics,
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, just into a 1 second, each moment of every film you see, there is so much to it, and you'll have a chance here on New Mexico Style in the next week or so to get an inside look at behind the scenes of a movie being shot right here. Now, another film that's expected to start production in New Mexico next month is the story of Mine That Bird. That's the horse from New Mexico that beat the odds to win the Kentucky Derby back in 2009.
The movie is titled 50 to 1, and it will be shot in Las Cruces, Sunland Park, Albuquerque, and also in Santa Fe.
Nice. Now, Jim Wilson is producing and directing the movie. He's actually made 2 other films in New Mexico. You may have heard of them. Swing Vote and Wyatt Earp. Ever heard of Wyatt Earp?
I was in Wyatt
Gallegos? I know you were. Wasn't that one of the big draws to acting for you? Was being in Wyatt Earp?
That's where it all started.
That's where it all began. Aw.
Thank you, Lawrence Kasdan and Kevin Costner. You did make me cry.
I know, I did. I'm Oprah. And yeah, no, that's a huge credit to him. So it'll be nice to see how this movie comes out as well. Okay, now the new Denzel Washington and Mark Wahlberg
She's
film.
glowing over here.
I know, Mark Wahlberg. Two Guns is shooting. How ironic. Two Guns is shooting on a busy downtown Albuquerque street.
Yes, lead between Broadway and 2nd is shut down until Tuesday night. Two Guns is about a DEA agent and an undercover naval intelligence officer who get set up by the mob.
It looks like it's going to be great, but what doesn't look great is the potential traffic. So you really want to avoid that. A good way if you want to go around is you could take Central, you can maybe take 40 all the way down to, I would say, Rio Grande maybe if you have to get downtown. You just want to make sure you avoid it altogether. It's certainly not going to be fun to be stuck on
whatever
a road
they're
closure.
shooting there. I know the bridge over there it's going to be some sort of really cool action thing because it's a cool location. The bridge, it's got that high elevation. I wonder what they're doing.
I'm excited. I know. There's a little part of me that's just curious enough to try to see if I can get a Mark Wahlberg
I wonder why.
You never know. It would be worth a try. And meanwhile, it's a little bit better outside today, too, for a movie shoot or for whatever your plans are, because it's a little bit cooler than it's been. And the man with the answers is going to give us the truth.
Let's check in with our KRQE News 13 meteorologist,
John Smith.